What's up everyone, Loybox here and welcome to Loybox Gaming. And for today's video, I will be sharing with you my A.A.S. Assault Gun Whitesmith build. First, let's talk about the stats. There are actually two ways to build this character. One is the critical damage build, which is the one that I'm using right now, and the one that doesn't do crit. So here are the stats that I'm using for my critical build. For strength, I have maxed it out. As you can see, we have 99 strength. And for the luck, currently we have 76. Reason for using this much luck is because ideally you should have at least 130 crit. That is for us to land a consistent critical damage on high level monsters such as the monster in TSA. Also for the monsters in GH. The bosses and the normal monsters there have a very high critical resistance. So you need a minimum of 130 crit. Now let's talk about the equipment. So I am using the PTD mechanical core weapon. Reason for using this is because I want to maximize the damage for my assault guns. What are the default stats for the PTD mechanical core weapon? That is attack speed, and also you have here the turret's attack ignores 10% of the target's defense. At +6, you will get additional 1 on the range of your turrets. And then at Refine 10, each turret attack increases the turret's bonus physical damage by 5% up to 5 stacks. Since this is a one-hand weapon, we are also using Varkilia's shield. This is for additional defense. As you can see, it gives us water resistance, fire resistance, shadow resistance, and undead resistance. It also gives us additional MDef, additional HP, and additional physical defense. For our armor set, we are utilizing the Tears Bless set effect. This is to get additional attack power for every strength that we have. So since we are strength base character, this will benefit us a lot. It doubles your strength into attack power. And for the accessories, we are using rings. This is because it gives us physical attack. Then it also gives us additional P attack for every 10 points of strength. For Refine 5, it gives us additional strength, also additional physical attack. Now for the skill build, we have Mammonite level 10, enlarged weight limit, level 10. We have cart revolution, cart modification, and then we have discount. The reason we are using Mammonite is because this is one of the main skills that we will be using for one-on-one battles such as boss fights, for TSA, and for PvP. Then for clearing mobs, we will be using the cart revolution skill. This is our only AOE skill on this build. For the second job skills, we have Hammerfall, currently at level 4. Adrenaline Rush at level 5. We have Power Thrust at level 5. We have Maximize Power at level 5. Then Weaponry Research, level 10. Weapon Perfection, level 5. And Skin Tampering at level 5. Now for our Whitesmith or the Mastersmith skills, we have Maximum Overthrust at level 5. Then we have Meltdown at level 10. We have our main skill, which is the A.A.S. Assault Gun skill at level 10. Then we have the A.A.S. Assault Gun Enhancement. This skill allows us to cast or to summon up to 3 maximum assault cannons. Then we have the Overload mode at level 10. This is a boost on the damage of the assault cannon. It increases its attack speed by 28%, which will last for 10 seconds. Now let's talk about the sigils that we are using. For the sigils, this is a non-negotiable. You must have this. You need to have the max firepower sigil. This sigil allows us to deploy 3 batteries after releasing A.A.S. assault gun. Each battery increases the attack speed of nearby allies by 4%, increases physical and magic damage by 4%. So this is a damage boost not only for us but for our teammate as well. Not only that, there's actually a one feature that this unlocks for our character. I'm not sure whether this is a bug or this is an intended feature. First, allow me to demonstrate. We will try to remove our sigil. So if I try to cast a new cannon, without the sigil, it only summons one cannon at a time. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Then once you have reached 3 cannons, the next time that you try to summon another cannon, it will remove the first one and then it will summon the third. Okay, another one. So in order, it is removing the old cannons. Now let's try to equip our sigil. Now with the max power sigil equipped, let's try to summon our assault guns. So immediately it will summon 3 assault guns. But that's not it. That sigil allows us to do this. So as you can see, right now I have 5 cannons at the same time. Again, if I will re-summon my assault cannons, so you are able to use a maximum of 5 cannons all at the same time. So that is the benefit of having this sigil, the max firepower sigil. Also, that is in combination with the A.A.S assault gun enhancement skill. You need to have this skill together with the sigil in order for you to have a maximum of 5 assault guns. If you don't have this, then even if you have the sigil, you will only be able to use summon up to 3 assault guns. Now let's talk about the virus cores that I am using. For my first slot, I have here mana length boost and cannon fortification. Cannon fortification basically is to increase the duration of your assault cannons or your assault guns before you resummon another set of cannons. And then for our second virus core, we have Avenging Lightning and Counter Boost Protocol. Actually, the main skill that I'm after for this virus core is the Counter Boost Protocol, which for every 5 attacks from the turret deal explosion damage equal to 220% of the blacksmith's attack one time. So every 5 attacks you get a additional damage from your turrets. Next, we have Accurate Throwable Module. Okay, this is for additional damage for our Mammonite. Other virus cores that you can get are, one is for the cart remodeling. That is if you would like to focus more on the cart revolution. Also, you can get Momentum Management Protocol, which will increase your normal attack damage. By the way, Momentum Management Protocol will not increase the normal attack speed of your turrets or your cannons or your assault guns. It only works for your character. Then we have the Aftershock. Aftershock is very useful if you are requiring additional critical stat. Next, let's talk about the feathers. Now, for me, I'm currently a member of a very active guild which requires me to attend a lot of PvP content on the game. For that reason, I am using 4 gold feathers mixed with 1 purple feather. The reason for that is I'm after the Raven's Hour set effect, which give us additional PvE stats and PvP stats. Now, if you are not interested in doing PvP content, then I recommend you use the Raven's Prestige set effect, which is only for PvE. As you can see here, it gives us PvE stats of 80%. For the feathers, I'm using Time, Space, Day, Sky, and Valor for my attack feathers. So for our defensive feathers, we are using Nature, Divine, Night, Terra, and Order. Actually, the Order purple feather was recommended to us by Skies Gaming, which is one of our regular live stream viewers. So thank you for recommending this feather to me. Actually, in the past, I was using the Virtue feather instead of Order. Then Skies Gaming told me that Order would give me a higher survivability compared to the Virtue feather. So we have used it, I have tested it, and I am very happy with the results. I can say that indeed I was having a higher survivability, especially for PvP, because of this feather. So thank you very much, Skies Gaming. So that is our feathers. Currently, I know it is still at a very low tier. Most of it are in tier 3, but hopefully we will be able to tier it up in the future. As you know, these gold feathers are very expensive. So we are still waiting for additional resources in order to tier this up. Let's talk about the pets. As you can see, right now we are using the Earth Lord. This pet is very useful for using your monster annihilation as it lures the monsters. Also for burning your combat duration. For Guild League, this is highly recommendable for luring the monsters at the beginning of the Guild League. Also for luring the monsters during the boss response. Next pet is the Child of Earth, which is very useful for additional survivability. Let's say you're doing PvP content during Guild League, War of Imperium. This will help you survive more. Or if you are doing, let's say, for example, Juperos, and you're having a hard time surviving or you're always dying, then I suggest you go for Child of Earth. And we also have the Divination Cut. This pet will give us a buff of additional physical attack, additional crit damage, and additional attack speed. Not only for us, but for our assault cannons as well, or for our assault guns. Then if you need additional healer during your MR farming or instances, you can always use the Baphomet Jr. Then we have Antasha, which is a very good pet when it comes to one-on-one battle. Let's say, for example, if you're doing boss hunts or you're dealing with the boss during your Helheim hard dungeons, Antasha is very good for that. We also have Sohi, which gives us additional buff, additional movement speed, additional attack speed, and also additional life steal. Another pet that would be very good is Dr. Owl. The reason for Dr. Owl is it gives us additional damage to the monsters that are affected by Gale Wind. As you can see here, it says increasing the target's damage taken from range physical attacks by 20%. Meaning, it's like having additional 20% damage boost for your turrets or your cannons. So that is for our pets. Now let's talk about the enchantments. For your weapon and your accessories, I highly recommend getting a legendary bow. But if you still have not reached 130 crit, then you should go for sharp. This is to ensure, again, that you will have a higher chance of landing a critical damage on the monsters, also to the other players as well during PvP. But if you have reached 130 crit already, then go for legendary bow. For your armors, I suggest you go for sharp battle, which give us PvE damage bonus. Alternatively, you can go for fortitude, which will give you additional resistances. Same goes for the armors and the shield. Yeah, as you can see, fortitude. You can go for stone skin as well, but you're very susceptible to crowd control if you only use stone skin. So I recommend using fortitude instead of stone skin. Same here. Also for the additional stats, I recommend you go for vitality or strength. Or if you still lack of critical, then go for luck, as what I have here. Then for the costumes, I suggest you go for strength on the stats and go for beacon 1.2 for your headgear. For your eyewear, I suggest going for sharp battle. And for your mouthwear, I also recommend getting sharp battle. Then for your backwear, I recommend doing beacon as well. Now for the cards, you will be needing only 2 sets of cards. For the first set, you will be needing size cards, which are Scale Worker card and Minotaurus card. Scale Worker for medium monsters, and Minoru's card for large monsters. Second set of cards will be the racial cards. Like for example, the Petite card, which is additional damage to dragon monsters. Orc Skeleton card for holy enemies. Strauf card for demon monsters, and so on and so forth. As for the elements, the best way to deal with that is by using elemental converters on your axe. Now for the cards for your accessory, you have two options. Either you go for a kobold card for additional crit, or you can go all the way 4 pieces mantis card for additional strength. I would highly recommend using kobold card if you are lacking with crit, as it gives you additional crit plus 4. Imagine if you have 4 pieces kobold card, then you will get immediately additional 16 additional crit. Otherwise, you can easily go for Mantis card, which will give you additional physical attack and, of course, strength. Now, for the modifications on your PTD mechanical core, I highly recommend getting the overload damage skill percent. And then for your armors, shields, I suggest you go for strengths. Try to stack as many strength as you can, as this is the main source of our damage. Now let's talk about the pros and the cons of this build. This build, in my opinion, is one of the best builds for PvE content. Namely, you can use it for MR farming. It is very useful. It is very strong for MR farming. Also, it is very good for doing your monster annihilation, good for boss hunts, good for Juperos, or doing Triple H. Mainly all the PvE content. For the PvP content, it is good for defending occasions on your guild league, especially for the boss response. Okay, if you want to eliminate a lot more monsters, then this is one good build for that particular reason. It is good for the War of Imperium, good for defending, also for attacking. As for PvP content, especially the arena, I can immediately tell you that this build is trash when it comes to arena. I don't do that much of arena. Usually for arena, I'm always, or most of the time, I am AFK. So if you are a very competitive arena player, then this build is definitely not for you. Also for Guild League and War of Imperium, if you are doing one-on-one battle PvP, then definitely this build is not for you. But for the rest, for the Guild Expedition, for YGG, as long as it is a PvP content without dealing one-on-one battle with another player, then this is a very good build. And that is it for today's video. I hope you have learned something from this build, and hopefully this video will help other people who are thinking about building the A.A.S. assault gun build. Also, if you have other questions regarding this build, or if you have any topics that you want me to discuss on our future videos, please don't hesitate to comment it below. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.